Countdown to kickoff. Scouting Report. Presented by BetRivers.com.
All right, we are back here live on Countdown to Kickoff. I want to welcome in our Colts insider as we get ready for the Scouting Report on the Colts and the Jaguars. You all know the face, you Colts fans right there, talking about Zach Kiefer. Zach, thank you so much for being here with us. Welcome to the team, my man. Glad to have you here with us. And who would have thought? Here we are talking about NFL. Football's here. We're ready to go. I know you feel good this morning, right?
Week one. It's been a long off season. Let's go. I'm ready to do it.
A lot of high expectations for this football team. They're warranted, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think what Chris Ballard, the GM, did in the offseason, they looked at the holes on this roster and the things that held them back last year. We know it started with the quarterback spot, and it also started with the three technique on the defensive line. They went out, and the biggest two additions they made, Phillip Rivers, DeForest Buckner, almost $100 million between the two of them. Those two guys are going to make differences from the moment the first snap happens today. Watch for those guys.
But, you know, we've heard this time and time again. And, of course, last year we thought about Andrew Luck and what he was able to do. We're looking forward to him coming into the season. And there's always been high expectations with this team, it seems like the last 3 or 4 years. Why is this year different, you believe? And I know Andrew's not here from what happened last year, but why is it different this year?
I think they attacked the deficiencies they had on the roster in a pretty big way. And I mentioned DeForest Buckner and I mentioned Phillip Rivers. But find me a hole on this roster. Find me an area on the team you don't really like. I'm a little concerned about the secondary. The linebackers are stacked. The defensive line is as good as it's been in years. The offense is stacked with the additions of Michael Pittman Jr. and Jonathan Taylor, Marlon Mack. They've got a lot of weapons. This is going to be a fun team to watch.
All right, so let's bring in our very own Charlie Clifford, joining us live here this morning from Jacksonville. Charlie, we bring you into the conversation here this morning. Obviously, we know it has been at some tough times for the Colts down there in Jacksonville. What do you think it is? Why have they not had success over the years down there against the Jags? And how concerned should Colts fans be today when they take on the Jags, if concerned at all?
AC, first of all, welcome to the team, Zach. We're thrilled to have you, as AC mentioned. Really enjoyed your piece on Justin Houston on The Athletic. Go check that out if you haven't. Zach, one of the most talented writers anywhere in football. AC, your question is a great one, and it is one that can't be overlooked down here. No wins since 2014. I've been down here on the last couple trips. It's been the ability to score the football. Only 10 points a game over their last 3 visits, but talking to folks here locally, it's a much different scene here. It's Gardner Minshew and nothing for the Jaguars this year. That defense, which was so potent, got to the AFC title game 3 years ago, all those names you remember are gone. It's young, it's inexperienced. Behind Minshew on offense, they're going to start an undrafted rookie at running back after Leonard Fournette was let go. So, yes, the woes are there, but I don't think this is as scary as a team as you've seen the last couple of trips down in Florida.
Yeah, you know, Charlie brings up some good points. I mean, no doubt a young team as well. And if you're Frank Reich, this is something you're going after, right?
Yeah, and this has been made clear by the boss, right? Jim Irsay always talks about how important the season opener is. His team hasn't won one since 2013. This is the time to do it. You haven't won in this building since 2014. You're playing against Gardner Minshew and then a bunch of, as Charlie said, nobodies. This is not just a win. This needs to be a double-digit win, so the Colts can feel good going into a big Week 2 game against Minnesota next week.
And speaking of getting off to a good start, we know you talked about Jim Irsay. Yeah, you've been around this team all camp long, obviously this week as well. The veteran guys know you can't start slow in this conference, right? Especially in this division.
Right, and if you look ahead, which we're allowed to do and the players aren't, they've got a murderous November and December. Games against Tennessee, Green Bay, Baltimore. Now's the time when you need to get off to a good start, 5-2, 6-1. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but if this team's as good as we think they can be, it's vital you get rolling in September and October.
Talking to our Colts insider, Zach Kiefer, here live on Countdown to Kickoff. Also, Charlie Clifford joined us this morning down there in Jacksonville. Charlie, as far as offensive, you look at this team here in Jacksonville, as you mentioned, very young. Talk about the quarterback, not as veteran as well, not really that skilled when you think about it. If you're the Colts, what are you going to need to do here today to be successful against this team? A fast start, I would think, right?
Fast start, and how about clean special teams? Remember that from last year? I know we're all wishing Adam Vinatieri well, and it was great to see the banner go up at Lucas Oil Stadium, thanking Vinny for the memories. But Rigoberto Sanchez, Rodrigo Blankenship, that's your special teams duo this year. I really think let's get the ball through the uprights and let's limit the turnovers. Key to note, the weather has really improved here over the last hour. We aren't expecting to see much of any rain during the game, so turnovers, no excuses. Jonathan Taylor, we know you had a problem with fumbles at college, and let's not carry that over today as the young guy from Wisconsin gets his debut behind Marlon Mack at running back.
That's great news, and you know what? Since the weather's supposedly going to be great, I mean, you got to see guys like Philip Rivers take advantage of that weak defense when you think about it for the most part. Not only that, you got to get things going with T.Y. Hilton. Set the tone early today, right?
I think this is, I mean, you go back a couple of years ago, the Jacksonville defense, Saxonville, that's history. I mean, they've got one guy, Josh Allen, still left from that team.
Yeah.
I think you run the ball until Jacksonville proves they can stop you. And I'm not sure they can. I'm really not sure they can. That means a lot of Marlon Mack, a lot of the rookie, as Charlie mentioned, Jonathan Taylor, and then you splice in some T.Y. Hilton, some Michael Pittman, some Paris Campbell. Make them stop you, because I'm not sure they can. Yeah,
and as you look at Philip Rivers, I mean, there is no doubt this guy here is just almost in heaven. To have an O-line protecting him today, and as Zach mentioned a lot of folks got a little nervous because there was word, of course, we knew that Quentin Nelson was not practicing one day, and everyone was wondering what's going on, Big Q, and then thinking about Ryan Kelly as well, Anthony Costanzo, and you made it very clear, my man. You had the report on Thursday, no. Calm down, Colts fans. He's going to be fine. He will play on Sunday, and that is the case. But if you're Philip Rivers, you got to love this opportunity to have that type of line protecting you, and that you can be about as calm as you possibly can be over the years, right?
Yeah, and this was a big reason why it was so hard for him the last couple of years in L.A. He didn't have an offensive line that was protecting him. He was running for his life, and as a 38-year-old quarterback, that's not a good way to play football. He came here, one of the biggest reasons was this offensive line. Trust me, Quentin Nelson is just fine. I'm not even sure Quentin Nelson can get hurt.
That's right, that's right. He's so big. He's such a big-time protector for Philip Rivers. Charlie, you're down there obviously in Jacksonville. For the folks, of course, because we know what we say about 16,000 fans will be there today. What's the feel like down there in Jacksonville right now? I mean, I know you see the players. You've been around some of the players there the farthest you could possibly go, but what's the feel down there right now?
Well, talking to fans like every other NFL city, there's still a ton of concern about returning to stadiums. And I know we all agree those concerns are completely realistic. I don't think you're going to get to see 16,000 in here. As of this morning, the Jags team website was still selling tickets. There's no tailgating outside. For the players on the inside, you know how it goes in 2020. Everyone has their personal headphones in. You kind of amp yourself up internally. As Philip Rivers said, the days of external motivation are gone. As much as he wants to see Colts fans packing Lucas Oil and that place returning to one of the best home field advantages in football, you're going to have to make do in year one without that. And I think from a player's perspective, once pregame comes around, you're locked in, and you may not notice it, especially down here on the road and not such a tough environment.
All right, Zach, if you're a Colts fan watching, what should they keep their eyes on today? And what are you going to be thinking about today when you look at this football team? What's going to stand out to you that you want to see take place here against the Jaguars?
I want to see an offense that's fun to watch. And I know the Colts fans out there who lived through a very, very difficult December last year and watched an offense that was boring and predictable and one-dimensional and that couldn't throw the ball down the field, which is something they're used to seeing for 25 years around here. I want to see if that offense is fixed. And Frank Reich made a pledge on January 2nd. He said, we're going to throw the ball around here. People expect that, and we're going to do it. They paid Philip Rivers a healthy ransom to come over here and do that. The offense has looked good in training camp. He's been very much in sync with T.Y. Hilton. Let's see some fun offensive football again.
All right. Let me get your pick. What do you think? Who are you going with, Colts or the Jags?
I got the Colts by 10 in this one, and anything else is concerning, but I think it's a double-digit win.
Okay. Well, I thought maybe more than 10, but okay, so 10's for you. All right, so look, sit right there, my man, because we're putting you on the task because we've got head-to-head coming your way. And so you're going to battle, Zach's going to battle Ken on some hot topics. That's coming up about 10 minutes from now, so just stay right there. Big thank you to Charlie as well for joining us live in Jacksonville. We're going to have more with Charlie coming up here on the show. We're going to take a break, but don't go anywhere, folks. We are just a little over halfway here on Countdown to Kickoff, but we've got a lot to get to still on the show. When we come back, we mentioned we're going to go head-to-head, plus give you our keys to victory and tell you who we're picking in today's game as the Colts get set to take on Jacksonville. Also coming up here on the show, we're going to switch gears and talk about that unit on the other side side of the ball. Can the Colts defense be the best defensive unit in the NFL? We'll get Ken's take on that as he rejoins us. And don't forget to switch to Wish immediately following the game for live post-game coverage on the Real Mechanical post-game show. That's coming your way immediately following the game right here on Wish TV. And then tonight, yep, we got him. Yeah, the superstar, the all-pro linebacker, Darius Leonard, hanging out with Wish TV, our Colts player analyst for 2020. Got a chance to connect with Darius a couple of days ago, and he told me he is ready to roll. You'll see him tonight only on Wish TV at 10:15. We're back with more right after this.
Countdown to kickoff. Sponsored by BetRivers.com, Bailey & Wood Financial Group, Hot Box Pizza, and Old National Bank.
Place your sports bets at BetRivers.com.
Indiana has taken a 2-point lead. A foul called on Chicago. Indiana knocks down a three-pointer.
You'll find a massive number of basketball betting options, bet point spreads, money lines, and game totals directly from your mobile device. Sign up now. We'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, more action, more fun.